Hello. I'm gonna call about to handle my business. But anyway, I wanted to make this video because I'm on a journey to find my father. You know, I've never met my father before. My mom really doesn't know a lot of information because back in that time, she was 22 when she had me, and she was dealing with drug addiction. So she really doesn't have a lot of information. And, ever since I was a little girl, I always wondered, who my father was. But as I got older, I realized that it was really affecting me. I feel like it affected a lot of my life decisions involving men, relationships, sex, all of that. Because I feel like as a young child and as a female, you look up to your father. He shows you how a man should treat you. He shows you what you should and shouldn't accept from a man. Your father, I feel, is your first true love as a man. So I didn't feel like I had that. I was raised by my grandparents, so I had my grandmother and I had my grandfather. But it's not the same as your biological parents. So I feel like, me not knowing my father just really had an impact on my life. But as I got older, approaching 30 this year, I'm like, it's so much out here, so many ways to find relatives and things like that. Let me give it a shot. So my husband, his mother, for Christmas last year, she got him a 23andMe DNA ancestry test or whatever. And I never thought anything of it for a while until I really started, those feelings really started getting to me about not knowing my father. So I said, well, let me try these DNA tests because, it might help me. So I did the 23andMe. I was linked to 2 girls with the same last name. I had only assumed that they may be relatives because they had the same last name and they were coming up as second cousins for me. So I started messaging. One of them got back to me almost right away, but we couldn't make the connection of how we could be related as second cousins. We just couldn't figure it out. She thought it was on her father's side, but she wasn't really too familiar, with her father's side. So, we added each other on Facebook, but it really didn't go that far because we couldn't really pinpoint, what the connection was. So then I decided, well, let me get me and my husband an ancestry test. So I did that. Me and him took it. We mailed it off. Got the results back. I'm connected to 4 people with the same last name. I'm like, okay. So again, I started messaging people. By me messaging people, okay, we started figuring some things out. They started making phone calls, trying to figure out things. With Ancestry DNA, they give you, with your DNA, it's something called centimorgans. And it's a certain number of centimorgans that can pretty much show you where in relation you are, or what in relation you are to these particular people. So one of them, our centimorgans were really high, almost to the point of being half siblings, but not quite. So that would put us as close first cousins. So nobody could find out who this girl was, though. So when I'm talking to other family members, they said they didn't know. So by making phone calls, they then found out who she was. And it comes to find out that this particular girl is somebody's daughter, and that particular somebody is my uncle. So one of his brothers has to be my father. So I'm messaging people, and we're finally getting a breakthrough. So, I mean, within these last few months, I would say, we've been doing like a really hard search into who my father is. I'm so grateful for the family, my new family members who have helped me so much try to figure this out, because they're like super cool. I actually recently just took a DNA test with one of the brothers that I for real, I wish he was my father, because he's so cool. I wish he was my father because he's so cool. But I don't think he is. I think that the other brother is. But I haven't been able to talk to him yet. So, but I mean, I just feel like I'm this close to finding my father, and it's like overwhelming, exciting, scary. I'm very, very, very nervous about it. I don't know. I'm just hoping that when it all comes out, that the other side of my family, my father's side, accepts me. Even though, I mean, I'm 30 years old, so it's not much that I really want from anybody, but just to know who my father is. If you want to have a relationship with me, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But so, all these years I've went without knowing my father. And now I'm just so close to finding him. And it's amazing. So I could have other other siblings on his side. And I think that's pretty dope. So yeah, I'm excited about what's going to happen. And I'll probably actually be making another video about I'll probably actually be making another video about like doing the whole 23andMe and ancestry thing as well. But yeah, really, really exciting. So I'll come back and I'll give an update about what happened with the DNA test. So yeah, it's really exciting. Don't know where I'm gonna go from here, but I can only think positive things. That's it, and that's all. But I decided to start documenting this journey with videos because it's something that I can look back on. Somebody else might be going through or have been through the same thing and maybe want to know where to start, so I can kind of, give my feedback on that, which is pretty cool. So we shall see.